Hi everyone, it's me Claudia again. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having an awesome day, and if you aren't, that's okay too. But in that case, I hope this video can make you relax a bit. Today's video is a very special one because it's actually a collaboration with Lavrnja on YouTube. You can find their channel in the description down below. Be sure to check her video and the whole channel out because she's a very talented artist and an amazing person. I am very excited to show you this project as it's not the usual painting video. We are going to paint masters artworks, or I better say recreate, as we are not copying the paintings but recreating them in our own styles. I believe that this is something everyone should try at least once because I learned a lot from it. It's a really useful exercise to study composition, to challenge your color palette, as well as to, step out of your comfort zone and try a different subject. But most importantly, to study the artists that you admire the most and that you're inspired by. I think that as artists, we have a lot of study to do, and although reading books is a must, it's the practice which makes the change. And if you're strongly inspired by a specific art style or artist, then I suggest it even more because it genuinely helps you with many different things, topics which I'm going to cover gradually throughout the video. In my case, as you can clearly tell, I'm in love with Impressionism in particular. Therefore, I chose a painting by Auguste RENOIR. But before getting into the details of this painting, I want to talk about the collaboration itself first. Sister reached out to me more than a year ago asking me if I wanted to be part of this project, and of course I happily accepted. But if you're new to my channel, you need to know that I have struggled a lot making content in general in the past year. And that's why we're only uploading this right now, something which I feel very guilty about because she's been so nice, kind, and patient. So with this, I just want to thank her, honestly. Choosing the subject of interest for this video was not easy. To be honest, last year I started working on the collab. I chose another painting by Renoir, but I was not feeling it at all. I didn't enjoy the palette, so I gave up on it just like that. And then I chose this one, which I feel closer to me, especially after seeing it in Paris, and it left a very beautiful impression on me. From the beginning, I knew that I wanted to pick a painting among the Impressionist art, but I admit that I was quite reluctant at first because the thing about Impressionism is that you see reality from the artist's perspective. Therefore, it's not always a clear, defined vision of the subject, if you know what I mean. On the contrary, some things are not defined at all. It's just paint over paint without a clean outline. And I love that. That's what I want to learn doing. But, one thing is portraying something that you see with your own eyes, and another thing is basing your recreation off of someone else's one. Clearly, it's not an easy exercise, but stepping out of your comfort zone is what makes you better. And not only that, personally, I think that I have learned a lot about myself in the past few years, but then again, thinking of myself as an artist, I don't know, it's like that part of me is still covered in mystery, and that's why I suggest you do this exercise. You will learn a lot about yourself, but as an artist. Let's talk about what I learned, hoping it will open a door for you too. Firstly, my color palette is limited. Yeah, I know that I haven't painted a lot with acrylics, but in general I feel as if this whole time I have been scared to try something different and to choose it myself. Well, what I mean by that is that since I started painting, it doesn't matter with what medium, but I noticed that I would always study, do my research, see which colors were used the most and the best for starting out, and that's definitely a good way to start, having a guideline, but having said that, as useful as it may seem at the beginning, I think that at one point you should set yourself free from these restraints. And I get that it seems too harsh. Let me explain. I started out with a watercolor set which was gifted to me. It's one of those sets with a wide range of colors. Even though it may look helpful, now I just think that it makes it too easy for you and that in a way it prevents you from discovering colors and learning. That's why when I moved to gouache, I bought the color tubes myself, only the basics, because I wanted to learn how to create certain colors from scratch. And because of course I wanted to learn more about color theory. This step was indeed the one which made me realize how much I lack of knowledge. So I thought that I was free, but I wasn't, because when buying the single colors, I was buying the ones that other people use the most, and not the ones that I wanted to try out. And by that I also mean the slight change in the undertone of a certain color that makes such a huge difference when you mix it up. Painting an artwork whose colors were like strangers to me, even though I have always admired them, but just from the public eye angle, made me realize that I was limited and that I need to work on choosing my colors more freely and to understand what I like and what I don't like. The second thing that I learned is that you can love a certain painter artist in general so greatly. You can take them as your inspiration for your works. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be like them. I thought that it was obvious, but it wasn't, and I noticed that thanks to this exercise. While it's true that not having a clean picture of the subject makes it more complex to reproduce, because of course you don't know how the image actually looked like, I noticed that I was unconsciously trying to make it look as close as possible to Renoir style, despite that not being my intention in the first place. I was conflicted, I didn't feel like I was up to that, and the thought of ruining such masterpiece was stuck in my head. I was tense. For example, there was a point where I was always going back to the face, almost obsessing over it, because I felt like it looked too ugly and different from the original. As soon as I noticed that I had an obsessive attitude towards the painting in general, I stopped and I took a step back. I was doing exactly what I wasn't supposed to do. I was repressing what I call my flow, and I was forcing my end into something that wasn't just mine, because I can love an artist so much and still be completely different from them. This wasn't new to me actually. Stepping back from other people's works has never been an easy task, especially when you're used to comparing what you do to what other people do. It's like you think that what you do is not worth being something of its own, hence why you always only look up to people you admire, neglecting what your interior self wants to do, till that point where you just don't know what to do on your own. these are the main things that I noticed and that I learned. Of course, I need to practice more and study and things that you already know. I'm not gonna bore you any longer. Honestly, at first I wanted to go for a descriptive type of video, you know, I have never done that before, so it would have been cool, honestly, but I find it more interesting to talk about my struggles, yeah, my experience, so that I can help you, make you realize things that you didn't notice until now, or if you already did. I think it's good to know there's a whole community going through the same things as you, or whatever. I think it's also interesting to listen to different perspectives. So, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know, ask me, suggest me, tell me anything, what you would like to see from me. These comments really help me create for my future content. But anyways, don't forget to watch Lavrnja's video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!